What's going on, everybody? We are here live on, it's over here. Thank you very much. E3 on Twitch. My name is Ezekiel III. And joining me on the couch here, we've got my boy Lono. Good to see you again.
Where am I supposed to look?
Is there
You look at me. You look at me.
I'll look at you.
New guy. All right. And of course, joining us, we've got Taylor from Gloam going to be talking about Bravery Network Online.
Yep.
All right, before we got gameplay though, which I'm super excited about. I always love it when people bring their actual games that we can watch being played in real time. Tell us just a synopsis of the game.
All right. It's a game where you got some cool little characters and they fight about stuff and they live in the future, and it's based on like the battle part of Pokemon. It's like a turn-based like battle game. You like take turns, you can choose some moves, you can switch different characters. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in it.
Excellent. Let's get going.
All right.
I'm ready to rock. And one thing I wanted to point out, mouse only.
Yeah,
That's all you need. That's all you need to play this game with a mouse. And I'll tell you, I am so excited about that because the more things you give me, the worse I do at stuff.
What team are you feeling? We got 3 teams. We made some pre-made ones for the demo.
Arsonist, come on, fire.
Yeah? All right.
Fire.
Let's burn some stuff.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna pick Bruise Buddies.
No,
Really?
man. Nah, dude. I'm from a Beavis and Butthead era. Fire.
I appreciate that. All right, so we got a bunch of little characters here. We got some like characters on this side. So my team, their team. They got some stats. They got like some moves, which you can't see because they haven't used them yet. But on my team, we've got a bunch of them.
Oh, I see. Okay, so is this team generated for you?
Yeah, so these are pre-built teams. In the actual game, they're going to be able to like build your own teams. There's a bunch of different characters. You can like choose different moves that they have and all that kind of stuff. They have move pools. They have a bunch of like stats.
Okay.
But for this demo, we weren't going to have people like, I'm not going to sit here team building for like 20 minutes, but.
Right. Well, that's probably one
yeah.
of the funnest parts of the game is do that, but it's also super time consuming.
Exactly. Yeah. So we want to just get right in, get some characters in here. Let's just bring out a pal. There we go.
All right.
So you can take a look. We can be like, all right, my guy's got some of these moves. We've got a bunch of different stat types. So one of the big things about this game that's a little bit different than Pokemon or from even classic RPGs is usually there's like a physical and like magic or physical and special like types in those games.
Sure.
So instead of 2, we've got 3 of them.
Okay.
So we've got this like physical attack and defense. We've got digital attack and defense and emotional attack and defense. And then
emotional attack?
Emotional, yeah. You can do emotional damage
I don't
to people.
know. Like this might be hit too close to home. Like with some relationships I've had in the past.
That's very fair.
Give me some emotional attacking.
Yeah, my favorite is actually I'm gonna do it. Let's do an emotional attack. We have this character who like can unbutton their clothes and it does emotional damage if I don't die.
Oh man.
And then you get faster. Oh, I'm gonna die. No, Clint, why?
Oh.
We're out.
Forfeits.
Forfeited.
Now what's in the background?
Let's take a look. That's Jeffrey, the referee. Jeffrey the referee.
Jeffrey the referee.
My fave.
Oh, that's
okay,
great.
Eric's
That's
really
great.
fast and has pretty low digital defense, so I should try and get someone who can take a hit.
So is there a given like rock paper scissors, like this beats this beats that?
A little bit. So it isn't quite rock paper scissors. Like I said, there's these 3 stat types, and so if I take a look at like Eric, who's out right now, Eric's got pretty low digital defense and physical defense. So I want to hit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can see the stats.
I want to hit him with those kind of moves, and I got both of them right here, and I can kind of see how much damage it might do. So it'll be like 42 or 56. So I'm going to use this one.
Okay.
And then Eric's going to use his own move, and I'm going to take some damage because Mez has got pretty good physical defense. So we're doing good here. There we go.
I love the animation of it. It's kind of like the game. You play with only a mouse. The animation reminds me of Darkest Dungeon a little bit.
Yeah, Darkest Dungeon is absolutely one of the like inspirations for how we've set up like the UI and the layout and stuff like that. I actually had a conversation with one of the like UI lead guys for Darkest Dungeon like once, like maybe a few years ago, talking about this game. I was like, how do you get there's so much information? And like even though it is based off the battle part Pokemon, there's so much going on in Pokemon. It's so complicated, and they just kind of hide a lot of it. Like who goes first when Sandstorm is happening? Who takes damage first? And it's whoever's faster, and you'd like never know that, right?
Well, there's that genius in the back. It's like, well, I have an algorithm if you
yeah,
want to
yeah,
take a
the
look.
computer knows.
Yeah.
So instead, we were like, okay, but we want to give more information so people have like a little bit of a better idea of like how to make this. So I'm gonna keep playing, but like how to make decisions and like what the best way to do stuff is without overwhelming them, right? Because it can be really easy, and Darkest Dungeon does a really good job of that, I find, because they keep all their like UI at the bottom, and there's like the big game at the top. I'm honestly like super into that game. So we got the 2 characters out, and like it's it's very laid out that way in a way that I enjoy.
I've never actually played a game like this, so I love how intuitive it is. Why was that so important in the design of this?
So I think that a big thing for us is that because we want to make something that's accessible to be played competitively, especially because competitive Pokemon is something super interesting, and we think there's like such a like there's so much depth to it, but it's so hard to get into. You have to like grind, you have to like breed right, and like get the special hidden numbers to be like correct. So instead we wanted to like make something that's more accessible. It's easier for people to understand that like switching is really good, especially when you're playing against other people, and just make it like cleaner and easier to understand what like the good and bad is of like doing certain stuff.
Now, is it just like, I don't want to say just, is it primarily a fighting mode, or is there like something outside of that?
Yeah, definitely going to be outside of this. So for the demo, it's just battling, so we want to get right into it.
Sure,
but
by the way, yeah, let's reiterate, this is just this is a demo.
For sure.
Yeah.
But, actually, let me see here. What should I do? I'm going to just pick a move first. But, yeah, there's a couple parts to the game that are pretty important to me. And the two ones are really that it's like a multiplayer online thing. That's why online's at the end of it. You can play ranked matchmaking, you can build teams, you can kind of like unlock a couple characters, like build up a team, and then play like online against other people. And that's a big part of what we want to do. And then the other part, because I mean we love the characters so much, we wanted to make there's this big lore to like the world. It takes place in the future. It's like in Toronto where we're from, and it's like they live in this weird tower, and it's like there's been a bunch of apocalypses. There's a whole thing. But basically we want to have like a single player that focuses on like the world and like a character and like their adventure in the world, and like them picking up friends and like building their own team of characters and just kind of exploring like what it's like to be, because they're all immortal, so exploring like what it's like to be immortal in this like weird future world basically.
And I gotta say, like, if I were to pick some place that would have survived an apocalypse, I'd probably pick someplace in Canada.
Yeah,
They'd probably be the last to be involved in something like that.
I sometimes feel that way living in Canada. I'm like, there's some not great stuff here, but also like
yeah, we
there's
can
safe
love
fish.
everybody pretty much.
Yeah.
I love how just unbuttoning a shirt does damage.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I'm getting hot, I'm gonna take my jacket off, and I did kill shot.
You unbutton, and then you deal emotional damage, and then you get faster because you've taken off some clothes.
Yes,
just like real life.
Seriously, like that's the thing. Like you get actually faster from.
From unbuttoning.
Is there a lot of that in the game? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of little things like that. Because like
throw a shoe, but now I have half speed because I only have one shoe or something like that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like weird things like that. I mean,
okay.
I think the emotional stuff is like, because essentially they're all immortal, so they are battling with each other in this weird world, and it's kind of like MMA, but there's more stuff because it's like, you know, they're bored, they want to figure stuff out with each otof.
You bet.
And so emotional damage is like a real thing. Like basically like violence means something different in this world.
Okay.
And so you get things like there's a bunch of different fighting styles. And so every character has two of them, and that's what just dictates the move pool. And so there's one that's like a business fighting style, which I don't have on my team right now. But
business?
Yeah, so they're like a magnate, and they can do things like write you up and like
God.
berate you, and and that like deals emotional damage.
Microwave fish in the break room.
Go now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the crux of where we're. Okay, let me see. I think I can. Let me do this. Let's do a flourish.
Now.
What's up?
You've been comparing this game to Pokemon quite a bit. Is there like an upgrade system, something to make your character stronger?
So that's something we actually wanted to kind of avoid a little bit.
Okay.
Because we found that like Pokemon was like very grindy. You have to level up, like, I mean, you don't always have to level your stuff up, but you have to like get all the moves and breed them right and do all this stuff. And instead, we have it so the characters have move pools that you have to unlock some stuff into them, but they don't necessarily level up. And as you unlock moves, we want to make something that's really accessible to like change to new moves easily. You're like, oh, I saw this strategy that someone just used against me. I want to be able to go into my team builder and like change. And one of the mechanics that we have is, it's called a comfort system. And basically the character has to get comfortable with certain moves. And they can use like one move at a time that's uncomfortable.
Okay.
And that one is like, once they get comfortable with it, then you can keep using it. But it means that you can switch to whichever move you want on the fly. And that character can use one move that like they haven't used before.
Okay,
so
I see
we
what
want to
you're
make it quick and easy for people to be able to like get access to being able to like change their teams around and not have it be this like you have to play for 20 hours before you can play online kind of thing. Instead, we want it to be a lot easier to get into stuff.
And when you acquire these or make these teams, do they have like, does each character have their own specific things every time, or are they randomized, or?
No, so when you build your teams, you're picking a bunch of specific stuff. And so like
Okay.
in a similar way to how Pokemon is, like you can pick your moves, you get 3 moves.
Okay.
You get to focus in, that's what these little blue ones are.
Okay.
You can focus in on certain stats to make them a little bit stronger for that character.
Okay.
And then you get to choose an ability and an item to give them, like a necklace. And so they're the trait, which is their ability, like every character has a specific one or two different ones, and you get to choose what it does. Like this one is when the character tags in, you get to reveal all of the stuff on them.
Yeah.
And then their necklace is like if they're at full health and they like take enough damage to kill them, then they come back with 1 life. And like these are like very classic Pokemon things. We have a bunch of new ones as well. I don't know if there's any right here, because we have a bunch of new like these things called feelings, which are like status effects. So my character's tired right now, and when you're
okay,
tired,
okay.
if you use a weapon or you flourish, then you lose health because you're like, I'm tired. But then you're like, I tried, it didn't work.
With this level of customization, what sort of a learning curve is in the game for a brand new player?
I'd say that because we've been showing it around a little bit. We showed it at PAX East recently and just at the Mix earlier at E3, and there we go, we won. And
Nice.
basically, we think it's been pretty easy-ish for people to pick up. Like, there's a few basic like stages that I try to introduce things to people, and we're definitely going to be having that. Do you want to try one of the other teams out?
We're actually kind of running out of time.
2 minutes.
I just want to make sure that we get everything out that you want
Cool.
people to know, like website or
Cool.
when
Alright.
it's available and all that stuff.
So our game is, we have a website which is braverynetwork.online or bravery.network, whichever website feels good for you. We've got like a mailing list on there. You can come in, you can like sign up your email, and we'll send out little updates. We've got a Twitter, which is, I believe, at Bravery Network. We have a Discord, which is also linked on our website. We've got Steam, like come wishlist us. My own Twitter is @FromSmiling. Follow us a bunch of places. We're hoping to release the game early 2020 or at the start, like at the end of the year. We're kind of aiming in that direction, and yeah, that's kind of the gist of what we're going for. Please take a look at our little video game we've been working on.
Honestly, it's got a style all of its own. I really enjoy it. I never play Pokemon, but I might play this. I'm not kidding. I'm not just blowing smoke. Like,
Okay,
I might
all right.
actually play this.
That sounds
Thank
really
you.
good.
Thank you for coming and showing
Yeah.
it. I appreciate it. Check it out. Bravery Network Online might be available in winter, maybe in early Q1,
Perfect.
something. Check it out. Follow the websites that Taylor was talking about. Don't go away though. We got lots more stuff coming to you live right here on Twitch.